Sidney Poitier was born on February 20, 1927, in Miami, Florida. He was the youngest of 7 children born to Evelyn and Reginald James Poitier, Afro-Bahamian farmers who owned a farm on Cat Island. The family would travel to Miami to sell tomatoes and other produce to wholesalers. His father also worked as a cab driver in Nassau. Poitier was born unexpectedly in Miami while his parents were there on business. His birth was 2 months premature, and he was not expected to survive, but his parents remained in Miami for 3 months to nurse him to health. Poitier grew up in the Bahamas, then a British Crown colony. His birth in the United States entitled him to U.S. citizenship. Some believe that the Poitier ancestors had migrated from Haiti, and were probably among the runaway slaves who established maroon communities throughout the Bahamas, including Cat Island. Poitier was originally a French name, and there were then no Poitiers of French ancestry nearby in the Bahamas. However, there had been a Poitier of French ancestry on Cat Island. The name came from planter Charles Leonard Poitier, who had immigrated from Jamaica in the early 1800s. In 1834, his wife's estate on Cat Island had 86 slaves of West African origin who kept the name Poitier, a name that had been introduced into the Anglosphere since the Norman conquest in the 11th century. Charles Leonard Poitier might have been from Haiti originally but had lived in Jamaica previously. Poitier lived with his family on Cat Island until he was 10, when they moved to Nassau. There he was exposed to the modern world, where he saw his first automobile and first experienced electricity, plumbing, refrigeration, and motion pictures. He was raised Catholic but later became an agnostic with views closer to deism. At age 15, in 1942, he was sent to Miami to live with his brother's large family, but Poitier found it impossible to adjust to the racism in Jim Crow-era Florida. At 16, he moved to New York City, looking to become an actor, holding a string of jobs as a dishwasher in the meantime. After failing his first audition with the American Negro Theater due to his inability to fluently read the script, an elderly Jewish waiter sat with him every night for several weeks, helping him to improve his reading by using the newspaper. During World War II, in November 1943, he lied about his age and enlisted in the Army. He was assigned to a Veterans Administration hospital in Northport, New York, and was trained to work with psychiatric patients. Poitier became upset with how the hospital treated its patients and feigned mental illness to obtain a discharge. Poitier confessed to a psychiatrist that he was faking his condition, but the doctor was sympathetic and granted his discharge under Section 8 of Army Regulation 615-360 in December 1944. After leaving the Army, he worked as a dishwasher until a successful audition landed him a role in an American Negro Theater production, the same company he failed his first audition with. In the 1950s and 1960s, Poitier made a remarkable impact on the silver screen, becoming the first black actor to achieve international acclaim and success. He broke barriers and defied stereotypes with his dignified and powerful portrayals of black characters. His breakthrough role came in the 1955 film Blackboard Jungle, where he played a rebellious student. This performance paved the way for more significant roles and established Poitier as a rising star. He went on to deliver outstanding performances in films such as Edge of the City, 1957, and The Defiant Ones, 1958, which earned him critical acclaim and recognition. In 1963, Poitier made history by becoming the first black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in Lilies of the Field. This groundbreaking achievement was a milestone for African American representation in the film industry. Throughout his career, Poitier continued to challenge racial prejudices and champion stories that addressed social issues. He starred in influential films like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, tackling interracial relationships, and In the Heat of the Night, 1967, exploring racism and injustice in the American South. In addition to his acting career, Poitier ventured into directing and made notable films such as Uptown Saturday Night, 1974, and Stir Crazy, 1980. His directorial work demonstrated his versatility and creativity behind the camera. Poitier was first married to Juanita Hardy from April 29, 1950, until 1965. Though Poitier became a resident of Mount Vernon in Westchester County, New York in 1956, they raised their family in Stuyvesant, New York, in a house on the Hudson River. In 1959, Poitier began a 9-year affair with actress Diahann Carroll. He married Joanna Shimkus, a Canadian actress who starred with Poitier in The Lost Man in 1969, on January 23, 1976, and they remained married until his death. He had 4 daughters with his first wife, Beverly, Pamela, Sherry, and Gina, and 2 with his second, Anika and Sidney Tamia. In addition to his 6 daughters, Poitier had 8 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. When Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas in September 2019, Poitier's family had 23 missing relatives. On January 6, 2022, Sidney Poitier passed away at his Beverly Hills home in California at the age of 94. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Bahamas, Fred Mitchell, confirmed his death. According to the death certificate obtained by TMZ, the cause of death was cardiopulmonary failure, with Alzheimer's disease and prostate cancer listed as underlying factors. Following Poitier's passing, numerous statements were released to honor his legacy. President Joe Biden paid tribute, stating, with unwavering grandeur and poise, his exceptional warmth, depth, and on-screen presence, Sidney helped open the hearts of millions and transformed how America saw itself. Former President Barack Obama praised Poitier as a remarkable talent who epitomized dignity and grace, while Michelle Obama, Bill Clinton, and Hillary Clinton also expressed their condolences. The entertainment industry also paid tribute to Poitier, with Martin Scorsese describing him as someone who had captivated the spotlight for years, possessing vocal precision, physical power, and grace that occasionally seemed almost supernatural. Other notable figures, including Harry Belafonte, Morgan Freeman, Viola Davis, Whoopi Goldberg, Lupita Nyong'o, Halle Berry, Ava DuVernay, Oprah Winfrey, Octavia Spencer, Jeffrey Wright, Giancarlo Esposito, Quincy Jones, Michael Eisner, Ron Howard, and more, offered their respects. Broadway honored Poitier by dimming its theater lights on January 19, 2022, at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time.